What's going on, you guys? Full Steer, and I'm back with another video. Today's video, I'll be doing an in-depth EVELYNN jungle guide. She is probably one of the better junglers you can play right now. She has very high burst potential. She's also AP, which is very good too. And yeah, in general, she has a really good clear. There's really nothing that she lacks. Plus, the invisibility makes it really easy to put a lot of pressure on the map because people have to constantly be aware of where your champion actually is. So you don't even have to gank to have pressure with EVELYNN, which is insane. So that's like that combination. I would highly recommend EVELYNN. She is relatively easy to play, easy to pick up. So if you find her an interesting champion, then by all means, try her out. She's definitely good. Alright, so let's get into runes first. This is the rune-based setup I am using on EVELYNN, and probably the one that I would recommend you to use as well. I'm going Electrocute because I want that early game burst damage. I want to be doing as much damage as I possibly can. Because I also need to fix the damage that she, like, the gank potential she loses while she's not level 6 yet, because she loses her invisibility. So the Electrocute will then easily combo well with, like, a W, like the charm into a Q or E. It's pretty much gonna delete people instantly, and that's definitely the one you want, just the most power out of that rune. Now you can use the sudden impact because your E counts as a dash. So as soon as you use that towards something, or you come out from invisibility, exiting stealth, which I mean EVELYNN does all the time. So sudden impact procs a lot, and it's gonna give you a lot of extra burst damage. So out of these three, definitely sudden impact is the one you want. Now right here you can get eyeball collection or zombie ward. Zombie ward's pretty nice because, I mean, sure you can walk over most wards as EVELYNN, but if you see a control ward, you can easily pick it up and put a ward of your type of ward back in that spot. So that's when a zombie ward actually becomes very useful. So yeah, this is pretty much more like towards higher elos, I'd say. And if you were playing it like lower, I'd get eyeball collection just for more damage, like straight up. So that's pretty much the difference between those. And then here I get Relentless Hunter every time because of the extra movement speed it gives you out of combat. That's that extra movement speed whilst roaming with your invisibility and potentially Moby boots. It's just so good, man. You're gonna put out so much pressure. You're gonna get the lanes so easily to be able to counter gank them or just gank them in general. Like 40 out of combat movement speed when you kill everything at least once. So strong. Now onto the secondary one. There's really only one choice in my opinion. Like, you could go for maybe like a Triumph with coup de grace if you're looking for sustain, but really you want that ultimate cooldown on EVELYNN. You want that to be as low as possible because your ult's gonna give you a lot of utility, a lot of one-shot potential as well. It can get you over walls into Baron pits for Baron steals, out of Baron pits with a Baron steal, all that type of stuff. It's overall like a very good skill in EVELYNN that you want off cooldown as much as possible, so that's why you go the ultimate head. And then I really like Absolute Focus. There is really no other, like, I can see why people would go like Celerity or Water Walking or something like that on EVELYNN as well, because like it gives you extra roaming speed. But then the Relentless Hunter with potential Mobies, if you're going for those, don't have to. But if you're going for those, then I can, like, that combination could be very deadly by just being really fast. But what I think, what I find more productive, or not productive, I guess more effective, that's what I want to say, is the Absolute Focus, because you're going to be above 70% health a lot on EVELYNN, because you do have that passive that gives you a lot of health back, or like a lot of health regen. So you're going to easily be above 70%, and you just want that burst damage. You want to sneak up on somebody, be high health yourself, walk up to them, W them or charm them, then Q charm them towards you, proccing your W, follow that with an E ult, and that's just going to be an instant delete. And 40 extra ability power from just one mastery, one rune is so good. Like, this gives you the most damage by far, and that's why I really like it on EVELYNN. That's why I would recommend you to run this specific setup. Now, that's the runes. Let's get into the item build now. Let me see here. I mean, I'll just make a new one. So, starting items on EVELYNN, it's pretty straight up. You get the Hunter's Talisman because, well, you start with Q, so you want to spam that on your camps. And spamming abilities on your camps is going to give you a lot of health back, plus also burns them. So Hunter's Talisman is by far the best one EVELYNN can go for. And then you can get away with a refillable potion as well, because, I mean, you do have that health regen if you get low. Also the fact that you can just kite your camps. If you clear your jungle properly with EVELYNN, you shouldn't be taking too much damage, and the refillable potion is more than enough sustain for you. Now, first items. The first item you need, like, most of the time want to look for is the Stalker's Blade with, like, the Runic Echoes enchant. Jesus, I had a brain fart on that one. So the Runic Echoes enchant with the Stalker's Blade. You want the Stalker's Blade because it does give you that like slowing effect. It slows the enemy down, adds extra burst as well, which is very crucial on EVELYNN. Having more burst is definitely going to benefit you a lot. Now at this point you can also decide to go for those Moby Boots if you want to. If you're ahead and if you're like in a good position with a couple kills to snowball it, really, then Moby Boots becomes very, very good. And that's where I would recommend those mobility boots. But if you're not like getting the ganks off, or the ganks aren't really possible because your team is pushing a lot, then you can also definitely still go with Sorks for the extra magic penetration, because magic penetration as a stat on EVELYNN is really damn good. So for that reason, this is going to be your like first 2 item setup, and after that you can literally just click Magic Pen, and pretty much all the items here, apart from Abyssal Mask, and I mean in certain games it could be good, but this item is very good for extra Magic Pen to pick up after this point. You can then build that item into a Morello, of course. Void Staff is going to help you a lot later with Magic Pen as well. And then you have also the Lichbane, which is going to be a very good proc for you in damage. Lichbane works with EVELYNN's E, so you can proc that onto somebody very easily, and then you can burst them for a lot of HP. Other great items to pick up on EVELYNN are items like Deathcap to get an extra, like, really max HP out, and then, like, it just gives you so much burst. 120 AP and 40% increase is massive, especially with all the Magic Pen you've been gathering up so far. And you don't even have to go Lichbane. Some games don't even go Lichbane because the main stat I am looking for is Magic Pen, and if I can rush those Magic Pen items, like this triple, or like the duo combo with Sorks, for example, this triple Magic Pen combo, it's gonna do a lot of damage, and you can easily follow that up to your maximum AP by a lot by picking up a Death Cap, and following that into maybe like you can get a Spellbinder as well. It's a very good item in EVELYNN in certain situations because it does give you the 10% increased movement speed. Plus you can proc it to get that extra ability power as well, and that ability power does temporarily proc with Death Cap too. So I really like this as a burst item as well, instead of certain games where I go for like don't go for a Lichbane and pick up like a Spellbinder. It's kind of the same idea behind it, because it does give you a lot of added burst. It also both gives you the movement speed, and it both gives you ability power. Sure, Lichbane gives you the like the Spellblade effect, of course. Also a little bit more mana and CDR, but that's really not that necessary. Not that, like, I mean, it's useful, but not that like important, I guess. Another item on EVELYNN you could pick up, the Hextech Revolver, works kind of like a Sheen does, because if you go in on EVELYNN with like an E, damaging an enemy with that will shock them for a lot of damage. So you can also go for like the Revolver setup as like an early scaly type of thing. Combine this with like a Sheen, and you're gonna just completely destroy people's HP bars. There's a lot of variable options you can already hear on EVELYNN, so yeah, it really depends on your game and also kind of your playstyle. Zonias could be a very good item if you went for like a setup like this. Whoa. Like this, for example, so you went with the Runic Echoes first into maybe Sorks or whatever. Like, mobility boots, you switch them out later anyway for Sorks, because you do want a Magic Pen from Sorks eventually. It gives you 18 Magic Penetration, so definitely don't want to be missing out on that one. So I went with something like this, so that into Sorks, into maybe the Oblivion Orb. This is usually the item I pick up first, because it just gives you 15 base Magic Pen, which is, combined with your Sorks, a lot of Magic Pen, especially early game. Then you have the potential to pick up a Morello into maybe like a Void Staff, potentially. You can also get like a Death Cap at this point if you want to, but usually if I'm like snowballing this, so if I'm going for the Runic Echoes into these boots, into like an Oblivion Orb, if they don't have a lot of magic resist yet, this is usually the time where I would pick up a Lichbane, because this is a much harder snowball item. If you're ahead, and Lichbane is just gonna allow you to completely delete people, because this will put you ahead of the curve, which means that they won't have the magic resist yet to where Void Staff actually becomes a good pickup. However, if they do have a lot of healing, you would have to upgrade this into a Morello first, and if you're then still ahead, you can get the Lichbane still. But that's the situation I pick up Lichbane. Lichbane is really like a snowball heavy item that you can pick up to like take your game to the next level. To, as soon as you're ahead, pick up the Lichbane like third item, and then you're just good. Like, I'm not counting boots as an item here, but like third item, and then you can just walk over people, really. I guess if you count boots, it's fourth item. But like that combination works there too. And then you could still finish your build off by holding onto that Lichbane and just focusing Magic Penetration. Again, Magic Pen, because EVELYNN's base damage is pretty damn good, and with her ultimate Execute, that's just gonna like add up even more. Yeah. So that's pretty much the EVELYNN build. I hope I explained it well enough for you guys. It's like a lot of variables you can get in the EVELYNN build. The main focus you have, of course, is that magic penetration. So that's really like your guideline. And then you could use the Lich Bane for like scaling, I guess. Not for scaling, for snowballing. And then you can use the Death Cap for scaling as like a 5th or 6th item potentially. To just ramp up your ability power a lot and then just make your damage output insane. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to hit the thumbs up below. Also, subscribe for more. And, oh yeah, hit the notification button because YouTube stuff, you know. And yeah, let's get right into the gameplay now. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I am playing EVELYNN, of course, into a Nidalee. I mean, this matchup is pretty good for me, honestly. It's not too bad. The main problem is that Nidalee, I mean, she clears really fast. She clears faster than me, which might be a problem, but in general a 1v1 should be in my favor because I could flank the Nidalee a lot better, and then also I have one-shot damage on her very easily, which she doesn't really have on me unless I get like hit by a spear or walk over a trap, so I definitely need to be aware of that. But apart from that, this should be a pretty good matchup for me. That aside, we have Zed. We don't really have a tank on the enemy team, which is also really good for me. Unless Renekton builds full tank, which I doubt he will. Neither team doesn't really have a tank, which is like pretty much ideal for EVELYNN because one-shots galore. You can literally just get a lot of one-shots that way, and that makes it for easy like sneak kills in and all that type of stuff. Now, here I always start with the side of my bot lane because I just want a stronger leash. That's generally it. Like, you don't really need to start other side. You can if you want to, but not that pressing. Just give you a stronger leash. And the main thing you gotta keep note of with EVELYNN whilst clearing is just the fact that you need to kite your camps a little bit so you don't lose too much health. Right here, you use, for the next camp, you use your W on the big one, walk to the side, hit the big one with your Q so it chunks it a lot. And then you pretty much just do this, you kite your camp as much as possible and just lose as little health as you possibly can. And then that's how you clear that camp. And at that point, you just walk over to your next buff, you clear it that way, and then after this you can clear down and then you're good. That's pretty much a standard clear with EVELYNN. On the other side on the map, you can kind of do the similar thing. You can start blue buff, you can maybe do like Grom/Wolves depending on what you want to do. Doesn't necessarily matter, you can just go from like a blue to Grom to Wolves, then just full clear works too. But yeah. As long as you clear whilst kiting your camps and just spamming your Q, that's the main thing you gotta remember on EVELYNN's jungle. Clear, and apart from that, there's really nothing to note. Now here, first back I pick up a blue smite. I didn't really have enough money to get myself the Wisp, so that's why I just picked up the blue smite. It's a pretty good like item to get. The extra burst damage helps you a lot. Also catching people a little bit easier. Makes it easier, because if you, of course, don't have your level 6 yet, then getting in range sometimes might be a little tricky. But, yeah. Like here, for example. I didn't have anything to clear, so this is the moment where I'm, like, for sure want to look for a gank. And I see the Zed in mid lane, as you can see. I see him hugging the top side, because the Nidalee is trying to come in from here. He's trying to bait the Orianna up a little bit, I suppose. So, Nidalee right there. Then I see him hug this side, so I just walk here. I press the W on him, so I get this on him, like, proc it. And then as soon as I get there, I just flash and charm him and do as much damage as I possibly can to him, which pretty much kills him. Saves the Orianna, and then we are good. Now, Nidalee, I got hit by a spear there, which is risky, because from that range, she could actually kill me. Especially because she went blue smite. She potentially has the burst to get me there, so I definitely need to be aware of that. Alright, why am I not following myself? Now here at this point, I am literally just pushing the mid lane out with my Orianna to make sure that the wave gets into the turret. Looks like Nidalee freezes. No, she doesn't freeze this. Okay, good. So just make sure that Orianna gets a chance to back, and the wave doesn't, it doesn't put her in a disadvantage, like in a very bad position of the wave that Zed can freeze. So that's something definitely to remember. You don't always want to tank your, take your wave CS, really. But in those situations when your laner is low and after you successfully completed the gank, that's when you definitely want to help him push. If people are going to complain about you helping push, then, I mean, realistically, they're pretty bad. Unless you push a freeze. Which means that if they can freeze it and they're pretty much full HP, they don't have to back or anything. If you push that, then you're pretty much trolling. So I guess be careful of that, I suppose. Now, as soon as you hit level 6 on Evelynn, it starts becoming a completely different game. Now here as well, I figured that the Nidalee was going to be on her blue buff, so at that point I might as well just take a free camp out of her. I also wanted to put myself in a position to gank the Zed easily again, because I ganked him earlier. I did kill him right there, but right here it's just like half his HP burst. That's the best I could have done right there. If Orianna had landed anything, like a ball combo, for example, or maybe an ultimate, whatever she landed, I could have ulted the Zed there for the pretty much one shot. Because you have to remember on Evelynn, your ultimate, wait, I can just... Hello, game. There we go. Yeah, so your ultimate on Evelynn only deals increased damage when champions are below 30%. So you definitely don't really want to use your ultimate before they hit, like, below 30%. Unless, like, your ultimate already has enough damage besides that to kill the target. So that's something you want to be aware of. Most of the time, or actually always, they should get, like, a little mark on them that will indicate that they're below 30%. And that's the time you want to use it. Apart from that, you can use it to, like, reposition yourself as well, or get closer to the enemy using it backwards. Those are a couple things you can do with your ultimate. Alright, here I was looking to maybe walk up for the Orianna. The Nidalee invaded my top side, which I was kind of expecting, because the Renekton has pressure over the Kled. He's 2 levels up. And then also the Zed has pressure on Orianna, so the Nidalee has a lot of extra time, like, for free pretty much, to pretty much take my entire camps on top side, because that's where she has pressure. Bot side, she doesn't have pressure because my bot lane is actually a good amount ahead, so she can't go there, but yeah. Here I land the charm, I land the E, and I mean, my ult was a little too late. I could have done that differently. I could have just Q and then auto attack instead of using E and then press ult. That would have been enough as well, and then I actually would have killed the Zed. But because I didn't do it correctly, I missed the kill on him by just like a second, really. He got his shadow off, which is kind of unfortunate. Now here I get the back time, I get my jungle item completed, which is like a massive power spike, and also get boots. It's gonna allow me to get a lot more movement speed around the map, which makes like roaming, especially like going for like the kills, makes it a lot easier. As you can see, I have 65 CS as well. I'm making sure that I keep my CS up as much as possible. Don't just like look for ganks constantly. Look for ganks that actually work instead of just like trying to gank as much, because I see a lot of Evelynns that I face make the mistake of just non-stop ganking. That's all they do. They literally just gank and that's it. And that's definitely something you want to avoid, because that way you can fall very far behind in levels and then also just straight up gold because you lose a lot of your jungle farm. Alright, here this is a pretty bad fight position for us. We definitely should not have done this. The Renekton was also there. Right here, the Kled just goes in, which wasn't the best play right there, but he still does a good amount of damage on them. Rakan ults then, and that pretty much puts me in like a position where I can't really do anything. I could have had the kill on Rakan and Twitch if the Rakan didn't have his ultimate, but realistically that engage was definitely not something we wanted to take, because the Renekton was rotating down as well. They already got the kill on the Caitlyn, so yeah, definitely something we wanted to avoid there. This Zed dies the turret. This gives the enemy the first turret on bot lane, sadly, even though our bot lane was ahead for the longest time. By misplaying that and just giving them that fight, they got our turret, which is definitely bad. Now here, they do make a very big mistake, though. They gave us enough time to respawn. Respawn timers are very low. And they just decided to go for the dragon on this amount of HP. It's not the dragon that's even that worth it, but yeah, this is just like, we get a free clean here. I make sure I hit him a little bit, then get the proc with my ultimate and pretty much one-shot him from that range. And that's pretty much, we traded like 3 kills for a dragon there, which is definitely something I'll take, because this cloud dragon, the cloud dragon that this was actually, I mean, it's okay, but I definitely take 3 kills over it for sure, no problem. Also, because I killed the Nidalee, I can easily just walk into her jungle camps, or like into her jungle now, and abuse that and just take camps. As soon as you kill the enemy jungler and you know or have a pretty good feeling that their camps will be up, you definitely need to make sure that you go into their jungle and clear their camps. Especially on Evelynn, because you have easy escapes with your like invisibility, or like also easy sneak in, so you can walk in and escape, all that kind of stuff very easily. So definitely make sure you do that. Why is this lagging so badly? Is that just me? No, right? I might have something... Just 1 second. There might be something on that's in the background that I don't want to be on. Is there? Yes, there is. That should be a lot better. My virus program decided to just run updates with fucking Windows at the same time. Alright, that aside, let's continue this. Go back a little bit. Alright, here, I would definitely want to be around bot side. Because bot lane has the pressure, has the turret pushed in right now. So we want to look for that. Then Nidalee shows up on the ward, so I walk up. I use my W on Nidalee to make sure that it kind of scares her off. If she walks up, she gets charmed, so she still dies off that. Nidalee does go in here, which is a pretty big mistake, and then I pretty much just one-shot her for it. Kind of. I was like 1 HP off actually killing her, as you can see here. Which is very unfortunate. I just didn't have any skills up or like anything to get in range of that to make sure that that worked out. So that's really unfortunate. Barely missed the kill on that one. Now here I kind of wanted to take her blue as well. Even though Nidalee is fighting me for this. I'm kind of just looking to kill the Nidalee here. But this is like, yeah. Nidalee kills me in return, sadly. My skills are on cooldown. I don't have enough, like, right there. When my skill came off cooldown, I have enough damage to kill her. But because I didn't, she killed me instead. I was quite low as well. So, I traded a 1-for-1 right there, which is not too bad. Because that pretty much gets Nidalee off the map. And allows my team to just push 4-man on bot lane very easily. So that's a 4-man, that's another turret right there. So I'll take the trade, but it's just, yeah. It's a trade kill, I mean, honestly. Now here my entire jungle is up, but also Renekton is pushing top lane. So initially, I want to get to one of the side camps of my jungle, so the Gromp or like the Crux. But because Renekton is pushing top, I'm running top lane initially. To make sure that I could be there if something were to happen. And, well, I mean, something didn't happen. But now I can just clear my entire jungle camps down. Make sure that I pick up all my farm. And put myself in a good position. Clearing my jungle should net me about level 11. And, yeah. Now, top lane is a little bit too far up. We don't have enough vision control. The enemy sneaks in from behind. And they both just die. They do get a return call in Nidalee, though, which is pretty good. But that means that Rift Herald is gone for sure. So my play right here is to just go for the Renekton. Because Renekton is pushed up and the Kled is there alone. Renekton doesn't have 2 turrets behind him, so he has to walk a very, very long way. Which pretty much guarantees his death. And that, like, he nearly killed me back. Because, I mean, Renekton's base damage is pretty insane. Also, he built quite a lot of damage. And I'm pretty squishy on EVELYNN, so yeah, that too. I missed my Q initially, but that doesn't necessarily matter. Because you still get the 3 procs after it. I landed the W on her with this. And then all I gotta do is just get in range. Unluckily it timed out, but yeah, as soon as she stops running, then I can get her pretty easily, and yeah. Again, there, it was a little bit scary, because if Nidalee landed like a spear or had a turnaround on me, she has potential to kill me if she has that passive on me. So I definitely need to be aware of that. So the moment she would jump, I would definitely have to EQ her back, and that should, in that situation, net me the kill. That's why I was chasing it. But again, very big thing here, big deal is Nidalee has 65 CS, which is, like, that's horrible. I've been counter-jungling her, punishing her for making certain plays, certain roams, so I've taken quite a lot of camps out of her. Plus, I've been keeping my own farm up as well, so I'm sitting on 115 CS right now, which is definitely, like, a good amount of CS to be on right now. It could be a little bit more, but I'm happy with this. And that CS lead on Nidalee alone makes a big, big difference. Also, I'm 2 levels up on Nidalee, which is gonna mean a lot in later on dragon fights and like Baron smites and all that, being higher level than your jungler, than the enemy jungler. So it's important to keep farming. For those of you that struggle with games, first look at your farm. If you have enough farm, then you could look at other things, but farming is very, very important. Now here I am walking to avoid brushes, because the most likely places for Nidalee's traps to be are in the brushes. So that was a misplay on me on my end there. Now what I'm positioning myself behind the enemy team right here. So as you can see, I am kind of pincering them. This is right, like they're 4 right here, and then I am right here to be behind them. So as soon as they walk up for like the dragon or something, Kled can go in from this side. They will walk down in this direction towards the dragon, and then I can get them to cut off. So that's the way I position myself here. I'm invisible, so they can't see me either. I just throw a W down to kind of scare them. Nidalee walks too close to me right there, and I pretty much insta-kill her. Then I pick up the kill on the Rakan as well, which is nice. And then Renekton goes over the wall. I flash over and get him as well. I kind of flashed over because I kind of like was thinking about chasing his head as well, but I realized he was too far away. So at that point, I just walk back, get the dragon, and then take Nidalee's camps again because I killed her. And the blue is up, the grump is up, and I think the wolves will respawn soon as well. But again, basically same thing. You kill the enemy jungler, look for his camps. If they are up, you take their camps, put them even more behind. Especially if you have like the pressure your bot lane has, you want to be in the enemy's bot side jungle a lot, taking their camps, putting the pressure down, making sure that like it's gonna cost the enemy jungler a lot, and that's gonna relieve the rest of the map as well if the enemy jungler is weaker. Here, another fight's breaking out. Why am I not following myself? Wait. Sometimes this spectate mode, man. Damn. So right here, I'm kind of just walking around a little bit invisible so the enemy doesn't really see me. Zed walks up a little too far. Kled goes back in on Zed. The Nidalee lands the spear. Stay on me, dude. Nidalee lands the spear. And as you can see, the damage output I have pretty much insta-gips the Nidalee. She does sadly get the Orianna, but that's what Orianna gets for getting hit by the spear, I suppose. Pick up the Nidalee, and then we are good. 11 kills, 2 deaths, 130 CS. That's not too bad. Now, Twitch gets a very nice flank here. My skills are pretty much on cooldown, so I didn't have anything to really fight back right there. So I didn't have a chance to actually kill him. But Kled flashes over the wall, and I think he gets out. So Twitch opens up, but still a 1-for-1 trade, so it's not too bad. It's just a nice play on, like, nice flank from Twitch. If he stood a little bit further back, he probably wouldn't have died either. As you can see, my camps are up right here, so I'm definitely looking towards, like, walking to one of the specific sides. Since my double golems are down, I am gonna just walk to the gromp, walk to the top side, and just clear my camps again. Make sure that I get that clear going. Get myself that extra gold, extra experience. To keep my elite going a little bit. Okay, right here. I was looking towards walking to my next camp. But as you can see on the map right now, Twitch is flanking. They open up on Orianna. So I instantly just turned there to walk to this fight. I W the Twitch. As soon as it procs, I E him. I taunt him. It was just not like early enough to save Orianna, but yeah, there's only so much you can do, I guess. Then I ult the Twitch instantly to make sure that he died as fast as possible, because I've got to still kind of respect his damage. And if Rakan like hits me with like a taunt or maybe like a knock-up, he could definitely still kill me because I am quite squishy. It might not have been necessary there to actually ult, but hey. Now here Nidalee jumps in. She doesn't do her combo properly, which nets me another kill because my damage is just so high. I have a Lich Bane. I have a lot of Magic Pen out of these two items as well. And my Dark Seal is stacked up to 10 as well. I could have potentially bought a Magi's this game, but yeah, it's always... I mean, if you want to do it, you can do it, you know? That's that kind of thing. Anyway, we get that trade going. The Nidalee and the Renekton pretty much killed themselves, and Baron is up right now, so we can definitely just go for the Baron pretty easily and just take that for free. All out of the play that was just made, pretty much. Now, what I'm making sure is, right here in this Baron pit, Zed is right there. We see him because we had vision on him here. Like earlier, we knew he was in this brush, so I was making sure that I stood like as close to this side as possible. As far away from him as possible, so he couldn't just like W over, ult me, one-shot me, and maybe take like a Baron with it, with like a double or triple Q. And that's like the positioning difference makes a big deal there. And I'm really squishy, so he can definitely like kill me. He has Duskblade, he has Ghostblade, he has double lethality. Like putting as much distance between me and him is what I have to do there, and yeah. So that's what I'm doing right here, putting as much distance between us. And then as soon as the Baron gets in the range of me actually being able to kill it, I just execute it with E-Smite at the same time. And then that way, we get the Baron. Now, Twitch does open up and gets us in a sticky situation a little bit. But we get out, and yeah, at that point, we're pretty much good. Here, initially, I thought the Twitch was going to flash out. So I walked up, then I saw the teleport, so I decided not to go that way because Renekton is pretty scary and I can definitely not 1v1 him, especially with this health. So I walked down, back towards my team, and yeah, that's pretty much a free Baron out of that play, which is nice. Alright, here I am sitting on 2,000 gold, so I definitely need to back here and get my item. What do I buy here? I believe I just go for the... Yeah, get the Morello. And the Void... Actually, no, I don't get the Morello, I get the Void Staff. I probably just had enough money for the Void Staff right there. The reason I pick up Void Staff here is because they actually have a fair amount of magic resist already. And honestly, all you need on EVELYNN really is that magic penetration, because that magic pen is going to give you a lot of damage. So the Void Staff is it's better magic penetration at like this stage in the game. This is the stage where people start to buy their magic resist items. So even if they don't have them yet, this is usually the stage where they get at least one magic resist item. So I can afford to get my Void Staff at that point to get that extra magic pen. Getting the Morello doesn't really increase my magic pen that much, so yeah. Right there I flashed on the Twitch. I think pretty much to troll the person I was playing with, the Clad. Because I just wanted to get the kill before he got there with his ultimate. But yeah, at this point it's pretty much just done. I think we can end here. I think we end here. Do I end here? Yeah, but that's pretty much game. So yeah, that's pretty much how you want to play EVELYNN. You kind of... Yeah, you make sure you keep your farm going. You get those ganks going. Lead those ganks with your W. Also, return gank is very important. And try to punish the enemy jungler a lot for being on like other sides of the map. Or as soon as you kill them, get that get their jungle camps. And then also position yourself to like kind of pincer the enemy team in between you and your team when it comes to team fighting. And yeah, that's pretty much it for EVELYNN. If you guys have any questions on EVELYNN, like anything at all, put them in the comments below. If you guys like to see more videos from me, then hit the subscribe button. Also click that notification button, or like that bell besides the subscribe button to like know anytime I upload a video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next video. Bye!